Welcome to Ponytails and Pep Talks, the podcast where blowouts, breakdowns, and breakthroughs are a weekly discussion. I'm your host, Regina. For over 3 decades, I've been behind the salon chair as a stylist, an owner, and yes, your favorite unlicensed therapist. I have heard it all. The tears, the triumphs, the you won't believe what just happened stories from courageous women overcoming incredible obstacles. So let's meet one of them right now on Ponytails and Pep Talks. Welcome back to Ponytails and Pep Talks with Regina. With it being Thanksgiving week, I wanted to tell you absolutely how grateful I am for all of you that are watching, listening, and commenting. Today, we're stepping into a subject that is equal parts courageous, vulnerable, and deeply human. Alcoholism is something people struggle with quietly in their homes, in their relationships, and in their minds, often leaving people feeling weak and alone. But recovery is a journey of strength, honesty, and choosing yourself again and again. Put your hair up in a ponytail, grab your coffee cup. My guest today is Kimberly Seckler, who has walked through this very fire. She stands before you today with wisdom, clarity, and a whole new relationship in her faith and herself. Welcome, Kimberly, and thank you for being absolutely courageous and vulnerable with us today. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hello. As you said, my name is Kimberly Seckler, and I live in Bernie, Texas. I'm an esthetician. I am a mother of 2 boys, one that's fixing to get married. One is 24 and the other one is 21. And I have recently really started getting into the organic natural oils and things like that that can help our system and our brains and our minds and our bodies to heal from the destruction that we've pretty much inflicted on it over the years. And I've been sober for 7 years now, 7 years, 1 month, and 23 days to be exact.
Wow.
I usually don't keep track of it, but since I knew we were going to be talking about it, I wonder. So I knew it had been 7 years, but I didn't know the exact month and date and all the good stuff anymore. Really track it like I used to. It's a very vulnerable road. It's a very challenging road. And it's a very worthwhile road. Sobriety is everything to me. It is the most important thing in my life, other than my relationship with my Father, my God, Savior. And He has blessed me abundantly from my birth to now, but especially since I stepped into the vulnerable place of trying to get to know myself, which is the hardest thing I think to do, which I'm still trying, every day is a
I
struggle.
would think so. I would think that you see yourself as a different person whenever you are drinking and then when you are sober. So you had to learn a new self, who you really were, without being numbed out with alcohol.
I didn't have any idea who I really was, honestly. I didn't think there was a me without alcohol. I didn't
Yes.
even perceive a way to live without it. I just thought it was what I was. That was just me. I was just an alcoholic, and this is the way it is, and how it has to be, and do the best you can with what you got. Which is such a lie from the enemy that can get planted so early.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in 1970. I'm a child of the 80s and 90s. It was party.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's what I wanted to do.
The music was awesome. Party, everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Give me more of whatever you got.
Exactly.
And so I have equal parts addiction in my family, as well as I'm sure I was self-inflicted as well. I bartended for many years. I started drinking really young, heavy. And I knew when I started, I loved it. And I knew I had
Yes.
a problem really quickly on, but that didn't stop me. I probably knew I had an alcohol problem by the time I was probably 23, but I started drinking when I was probably 16 years old, probably
Which a
younger.
lot of people do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
usually about the age a lot of it starts. And also, you had so much alcoholism in your family around you. So I'm sure a big part of you just thought that was normal, that everyone drank, everyone's family drank. What did that look like in your home?
Well, in the home that I grew up in, I grew up in a loving, wonderful home. Wonderful parents. My dad has since passed. My dad, I have a family of addicts. We don't care what the substance is. We just pick one.
Yes.
So, my dad's was cocaine. He was a very functioning cocaine addict for many years. It started out as pot, of course, just like everything else. My parents were hippies and I loved it.
Of
Uh,
course.
and they were loving and wonderful, and everything was fun and happy. So I grew up with that just being, yeah, this is cool. I love this. This is how I want to live. And then my mother started to change as far as following the Holy Spirit and doing some different things. So she kind of put a stop to all of that, and I didn't like it. I
Of
wanted
course
it to
not.
be like it used to be. I didn't want to go to church every Sunday. No, I
Right.
want to do what we used to. That was so much more fun. Why are we? Okay.
About how old were you whenever your mom started bringing church into y'all's life?
I always was, I always believed in God. I always believed in God. I always believed in Jesus. I grew up going to church, on holidays and when I saw my grandparents, and then when we were, occasionally, but on a
Hmm.
regular basis, I was probably in about the fifth or sixth grade.
Okay.
So, that I went, but I didn't.
Yeah. You went because parents took you.
I did enough to appease the parents and the whoever and to look like I was did the right thing, and then just kept on doing what I wanted to do. I have a very
Exactly.
rebellious streak, which also can be God given, but it has to be reined in and used in his context instead of like, don't tell me what to do. I lived in a very controlled home, which was really strict and really made me push back with my rebellious spirit. I was like, well, I'll just sneak out.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do what I wanna do, so you can tell me not to, but I'm gonna do it. You're not gonna know. It was easier to ask for forgiveness than permission, I guess you could say, in my house.
It is.
So
And with the rebellious spirit that a lot of us have, it's just that some are stronger than others. I had that strong willed child, that daughter growing up. And same thing, I hated the pushback. I really did. I was relatively young whenever I had her and learning to be a mom and all that pushback. It drove me crazy. But at the same time, once she became more of an adult, as you say, she took that willpower and made something better of it. Then she was able to stand
awesome.
up to her friends later. She was able to stand up for herself. Turning that into the positive direction, it is an amazing quality that
Right. Right.
most of us have.
Right. So instead of fighting that, well, I'm just a rebel. Just, God made you and he didn't want you to use it for your destruction, which is
No, it's be a rebel against the bad, be a rebel against the
that's
things that are
it.
not good for us.
Amen.
And that's where we need to focus that.
Absolutely.
What was the hardest part when you decided to get sober? What were your thoughts whenever that happened?
Well, as I said before, I didn't even think I didn't know who I was. I didn't
Hmm.
alcohol was my identity. I didn't think I was
Yes.
gonna ever have fun again. I thought everything was gonna be boring. I thought, I don't know what I thought. I just
Hmm.
believed a lot of lies is what I did that had been planted in, the earlier the enemy can get a hold of your mind, and mine was pretty early. Deciding to get sober was how am I going to live every single day? What am I going to do with myself if I'm not drinking? Where am I going to get any confidence? That was the only place that I had any confidence was alcohol. My confidence level was so low.
The liquid courage is it's
Liquid
for
courage was
lovingly known as.
served me well for many years because, there's a
Yeah,
reason people drink. There's a reason. It has some good things. That makes you feel pretty good, until
it
it
does
doesn't.
until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't.
Exactly.
It's not like anybody, like you've heard before, decides I'm gonna become an alcoholic. But that was probably the hardest, is trying to figure out just fear of who am I? I don't even know. It was really hard for me to leave my children to go to rehab.
Hmm.
That was like for years. I was like, but I can't. But they were littler at the time, and I was still a good mom. I still loved my kids. I still
Yes.
did everything I could. I was a pretty functioning alcoholic. I've had DWIs. I should be in prison. God totally saved me.
Oh,
100%. I should 100% be in prison today.
thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, a week doesn't go by. This could make me cry. That I get to stare at this window instead of some gray walls because I should be staring at some gray walls right now. Yeah. And thanks to the grace and mercy of God, I am not. So anyway,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
and it was really hard for me to admit it to my boys that, moms, I can't do it. It's hard to admit how powerless you are. a lot of
Yeah.
self-control that you have as a person,
And do you
and that's
think
why
your
we have fun.
children really knew what was going on? Like they were aware. What is the
Yeah.
moment that you decided I have to do this aha moment? I have to go do this now. What did that
Well,
day
there
look like?
there was a series of things, and there was a series of days, but the actual day that said, "That's it seemed so insignificant because it had happened so many times, but God just allowed me to see what I was really doing. But I had asked my kids probably for the 4th or 5th time, "Are you hungry? Have you done your homework? Are you hungry? Have you done your homework?" And then I would turn around 5 minutes later and ask them the same question because I wouldn't remember that I just asked them that question.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty bad, pretty embarrassing, pretty humiliating. And my oldest son has a whole different personality than my youngest. He's just like, oh, super
yeah.
happy, loves his mama no matter what. My youngest, he's a little more observant. He kind of sits back and looks. And on this particular day, I had asked him for the umpteenth time if he was hungry, if he did his homework, and he gave me a look of utter disgust. Um, yeah.
That had to have broken your heart.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But that was the cherry on top. And there had been quite a few things that had happened. And like I said, I knew I was an alcoholic at an early age. I knew I needed
Hmm.
help. I didn't know. I had gone to AA meetings a few times, tried, didn't, but I didn't really give it a real shot to give AA, the credit it
Okay.
deserves.
Yes.
So I didn't go full force into that, but I would go occasionally and tiptoe around trying to think about how I could get sober. But anyway, I knew that I personally had to go to rehab to do it. I had to remove myself from every situation, from everything, because I'm a lot stronger today, but then I was pretty dang weak. I mean, I didn't think I could do hardly anything. The series of things before that, I had just gone back to school to be an esthetician. As I said, I'm an esthetician.
Okay.
And the class had started of dermaplaning. Dermaplaning is where you use a straight razor to shave off dead skin and vellus hair. Well, my
Yes.
hands shook so bad from the lack of alcohol that I had got to put in my system yet that I couldn't even take the class because I knew I would slash somebody, which would be awful. And so
That's a
here I am
huge
spending all of this.
realization for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so here I am finally going to school, being an esthetician that I'd always wanted to do
Hmm.
forever. And I'm ruining it, so that was like a
Oh,
little hang. And then I met my now husband and we went on our first date and I didn't know he didn't drink. I would have never gone out with him if I know he didn't drink, by the way. Yeah,
but
really, I
God had
wouldn't
other
have.
plans.
God
God
had
had
other
other plans.
plans.
That's why you didn't know.
Exactly, exactly. And so we met for dinner, and I met him up at the bar. And of course, I had ordered a drink, and he ordered tea. And I was like, "Why aren't you having a drink?" And he told me, "I quit drinking 5 years ago." And I was like, "I'm going out with this guy again. That's not good." And anyway, like you said, God had other plans.
That's
So,
right.
and here we are married today. And he was so sweet, and he offered when we were still just dating to pay for rehab if I wanted to go. He never asked me to go. He never forced me to go. He just loved me.
Oh,
And I didn't
that's
know why.
precious.
And he did say
Oh,
something. Yeah, he said something to me that is so amazing. When I look back on it now, then I was like, "Pff, whatever." But when I look back on it now, he said to me, "Kimberly, I love you, but I will never marry you because it wouldn't be fair for me to marry an alcoholic for my children. It wouldn't be fair to my
ouch.
children for me to marry an alcoholic." And I was like, kudos, man. I said, I don't blame you. I would marry me either. But I didn't care because I didn't want to get married ever again.
So your defense mechanism
Kicked right
flew
in.
out there very
I was
quickly.
like,
Like,
that's
fine, no
really,
problem. Not giving up
yep,
the alcohol. Now give up you,
exactly.
but okay.
Yep. Yep. Okay, cool. Kept on going around my merry way. And then I went on a girls' trip with my two best friends that have been my besties all my life. And we always drank, went to Fredericksburg, did the wine, blah, blah, blah. But this time I really, after my divorce, I was already hardcore, but I went
Deeper. Yeah.
hardcore, deeper.
Hmm.
And
Covering the pain.
covering the pain temporarily till the next day. And one of my friends after that trip called me and said, Kim, you have got to go to rehab and you need to go to Summer Sky. And I was like, Summer Sky? That's where my dad had went to rehab 30 years earlier and he had
Ugh.
since passed away. And I was
Hmm.
like, There it is again. There it is again. And I was like, okay, I hear you, God. I hear you. Okay.
I know. I love the way God allows us to do our little stuff that we're doing. He's very patient, but then he knows the path that's going to take us where he needs to go. I love the way he just put all of these things in front of you in a gentle and loving way until you reach to the point of
To
reaching
choose
out for
it.
that help.
Exactly. He puts those choices in front of us so often, and we get to choose whether we want them or not.
Yes.
And then I just got, you just get sick of yourself. You get so
Hmm.
sick of yourself that you don't want to be with yourself anymore, you know?
And your friend had
Sick of,
told you that? Your friend was telling you that this is too far.
yeah, this is too much, Kim. And this particular friend, Heidi, she does not say anything unless she means it. She
Hmm.
doesn't, repeat that, if she says something, she means it.
Yeah.
And so I would say that that's a really important quality in a person, to not talk too much, maybe listen more. And then whenever you do say something, people might listen because
Right.
I needed that kind of person to tell me that because my mother had been praying. My mother is a prayer warrior. My mother prayed me, my brother, and my dad into freedom.
Sobriety.
Poor woman. She did. Anyway, but so I always, had that extra structure and that strength from I didn't know from her. So, mothers have a very strong connection to God for their children. It's
I
something different.
absolutely believe that.
It's something different.
Well, and then we're so connected to our children in a way that God made us. So,
Exactly. He made
we
that
definitely
happen.
do. He made that
So
happen.
so I have to make sure that I give her so much of the credit she
The
deserves
credit and
in
the
all of this as
kudos.
well. So
So, how long was your rehab? You decided, okay, now I'm going, and you let your family know, you let your children know, you decided to go. How long was it whenever you went?
So I did it a little differently. I called ahead of time and said and made an appointment for October 1st, 2000, excuse me, see, I'm old, 2018. And everybody was like, you don't make an appointment to go to rehab. You just go. You make a decision and go that day. And I was like, but I got things to do. I can't go today. So I ended up making the appointment and saying I was going to go, prepared myself, drank. I drank all the way to rehab in the car as my boyfriend at the time, now husband, drove. And by the time we pulled up, I'd finished that bottle and
Oh.
wanted to go get another one before I went in. He said, no, we got to go in. And I was like, oh. So anyway, that was what finally got me there and decided to do it and did it for 30 days. I stayed for 30 days. They wanted me to stay a little bit longer, but I was ready and came home. And I tell you what, coming home, going back to your life is way scarier than going to rehab. Way.
Mm.
Because you're like, I don't even know. I don't know how to live. I don't know what to do. So you really, really lean in and lean into God and lean in and pray. Jesus, I don't even know what to do today. And I think it's such a vivid memory of me driving home from Paulo, who was my husband, his house to my house, going with my hands shaking again, just like I'd been in alcohol. Because I was so scared of myself.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, that was real hard.
At what point in recovery did you realize I have the strength to do this? What were you telling yourself?
Well, that's a really good question, Regina, because I just kept telling myself to just try to take care of myself. Try to do what I say I'm going to do. I had never been a person that followed through. I mean,
Oh.
forever. I told myself I'm not going to drink today. And what I do, I drink today. So I did not trust myself. I lied to myself on a daily basis, first thing when I woke up, throughout the
Which we
entire
all
day.
do. Yeah, we
Yeah,
all
yeah,
do from
yeah,
whatever it is that we're using as our crutch. We all
yeah,
do the same
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. So I had to start really, small, just like you've heard all the cliches say, oh, okay, I'm not going to drink for the next hour. Okay, I did it. Okay, I'm going to go
Mm.
to the gym. Okay, I did it. Okay, I'm going to go sit in the sauna and sweat out this poison instead of putting more in my body. So I did it. So just the little tiny, micro, little tiny things that you do
Oh.
every single day to build the trust back up in yourself.
Hmm.
And I still don't completely trust myself. I still don't completely follow through with everything that I say I'm going to do,
Of course not.
but I'm way better than I used to
Again,
be.
right,
Yeah.
again, we're
Yeah.
all there.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine. You've already talked a little bit about the fear, but the fear when you pulled up into the driveway and your children are seeing you, what went through your mind whenever your kids are looking at you?
What went through my mind, anytime you bring about the kids, it always is such a tender
Yes.
place.
And that's okay. Take your time.
Yeah, they were just so happy to see me. They didn't care. They didn't care. They were
They
so
love their
proud of me.
mama.
They were very proud of me and, just loved me, and I knew let me tell you something, if you are in addiction and you are trying to get clean or you have gotten clean and you've just began, you've got to show by your actions, don't use your words,
Right.
because words are after you've
Words
used those
are
words.
meaningless until you put the actions with it.
Yeah, so you
Absolutely.
gotta put the movement into it and don't expect them to completely trust you right away, you know? What is it? There's a story about a farmer. Now, I love this because it's so true. And
Hmm.
he goes out on a Monday and plants his crop. And then he walks out on Tuesday and he's so pissed off because his crop's not grown. He just
Right.
planted it the day before. Well, I guess I'm not supposed to be a farmer. Forget it, I'll just give up. No,
Right.
you have to cultivate it. You have let some weeds grow in that garden of yours for a long, long time. And you just pull one weed at a time, and it gets easier and easier. I can't believe I'm sitting here talking to you as a sober person. I really did not think I ever had the strength. And I didn't, but God did.
But
And
God did.
but God did, and He can, and He will, and you have to trust it because it's hard to trust when you've never trusted yourself or other people, probably, to trust in a God that you don't even know how to trust anybody else. So you
Anybody
just
else?
kinda have to take that leap of faith, and He's gonna talk to you. He
Hmm.
made your mind. He made you. He talks to me in funny ways because He knows how I'm simple and funny, and I like to laugh.
Yeah.
And he talks to me through some secular music, not just Christian music, because that's
Sure.
just kinda not my jam. But whoever you are and however he created you, he's gonna speak to you just in a special way that only you will hear and believe it because it happened.
Because it happens. So, what was it like the first day you slept through the night? You get up the next day. Now you're facing your same home, your same children, your husband. Everything that was there before you left is now in front of you. How did you make it through that first day?
That first day I started journaling, a prayer journal with Jesus, basically, is what I do. And that's all it is dialogue with us back and forth. I mean,
It
I
is.
talk to him like I'm talking to you. And so I started that on day one. So that helped me. And you have to stay busy. You have to keep your normal space that you would be drinking something else to fill that. And I filled it at outside walking or going to the trail or at the gym or just sitting in the sauna drinking water or whatever way that you like. But you've got to nurture everything in you because you have abused yourself for a long time. And you need to thank your body for hanging in there with you
Hmm.
and say, "Let me take care of you and pet you now, and I'm so sorry." And so that's where my mindset was I had to
Sure.
go into total wellness into myself, which
So,
sounds
how
selfish.
many? Well, yeah, you think it is, but it's not. That's what, we're so much more learning nowadays that self care is one of the most incredible things we can do for ourselves
Yes.
and for our
Yes.
family and for
Yes.
those around us.
Yes.
How many
Yes.
days in from being sober did all of a sudden you have your worst struggle? What was your worst day, the first worst day?
When started to get bored and I
Hmm.
didn't know what to do with myself because I had never known what to do with myself, and to sit in that and give it 5 more minutes,
Yeah.
sit in that, give it 5 more minutes, and I would just pray, "God, you've got to show me because I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know how to think." I didn't know how to think. I didn't even know what to think about.
You didn't, but your strength, the strength you were already having at that point is absolutely incredible. And I know God given.
100%, 100%. And so that's what that looks like. I was scared. It's scary. It is just so
Hmm.
scared. Scared of failure and scared of letting my children down and my family down. And God down. And so I mean, after and then I started, like I said, I started exercising. Started cooking. I started eating nutritious food.
Mhm.
You're not going to happy hour anymore. And whenever you're in alcohol, whenever you're out there and you're drinking, you think it's gonna suck to be sober. And at first it does, because you're like, you don't know what to do with yourself. But the God just gives you these little blessings every day that help you just a little bit further. And every day that you make it, he's like, good girl, good girl.
Mhm.
Tomorrow's gonna be
Absolutely.
easier. And it's so worth it, to make it. And just the hardest part is to make it small and simple.
Mhm.
Pull one little weed a day. Do something that you say you're going to do. Take care of your body. Do lymphatic drainage. Put organic things in your body. Every person walking around this planet, especially in the United States, has so much toxicity in their body just from air and
Yes, we do.
food. But double that in an alcoholic or whatever your addiction of choice is, because you got a crap load of toxins in you that need to be flushed.
Right.
So as that's flushing, your mind starts to clear, and God just does what he does.
We have the holidays coming up. What was it like for your first holiday when everyone else around you is drinking and you're not?
Petrifying.
Mhm.
So, so petrifying. I didn't know how I was going to make it through it. I really had to pick and choose what I was going to do. I didn't want to go to the big fun parties that I wanted to go to before, because I was like,
Of
"Ugh, it's
course
not going to
not.
be fun. It's not going to be fun. I'm not going to drink. I can't drink. What's the purpose?" So I really did pick and choose. If you can't pick and choose, and if you can't choose to stay home, if you're new, you need to stay home. If you're if you're brand new, sober, just don't even put yourself in the situation. Do everything
Mhm.
you can to stay away from it. And if you do have to go, stay prayed up. Know that God is by your side and he will help you get through it. Because if he doesn't take it away, he will help you walk through it. And I know that from way experience, and it's
Absolutely.
and so, I mean, I drink club soda with lime and a splash of grenadine, just to keep people from saying, "Why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you-" that's helpful. And now it doesn't phase me. I don't. It doesn't phase me to be around people that are drinking or be at
Mm.
parties, or because I'm there for a little while and I'm like, okay, I'm over this. You don't want to be the last one leaving like you do whenever you're drinking. You're just like, no, I don't want the party to end. That's how I was anyway. Alcoholics, I have discovered, and I don't know, I am no medical expert in this at all, but a lot of alcoholics get energy from alcohol instead of
Mm.
relaxing, and it helps me sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, I can power. I can go. I can do it all. I've started so many planned so many business endeavors with alcoholic friends until the next morning. I'm like, what? What were we gonna do? I mean, anyway, just silly things like that. But so I would suggest for the holidays that the best, most important thing you can do is stay, number one, connected to the Holy Spirit, to God, to your higher power that helps you get through this, because you're stronger than you think. Take a bath. Just do some slow, easier things. Everybody kind of has to figure out their own way. My personality, I'm atypical. I want to go, 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 go. So for me, God's like, "Shh, be still," which is so hard for
Mhm.
me to be still.
Very
Still.
hard for me also.
Yeah, it is really difficult for me to be still long enough to download what he's trying to say to me. He's like, "Would you just be still?" I'm like, okay, okay. I think I will.
Absolutely. So, who
But
did
I'll help you.
I'm sure that your family, your friends, everybody was stepping up around you. Did you have that friend you had to call or come with me to this event or be with me and, and help you
Did.
through?
I did. I did. Since I had Paulo, which had been sober 5 years previously.
Yeah.
So I know. And that was such a blessing for me. I mean, I'm very thankful for that. I really don't know how I could have done it if I had to go back home to somebody that was still, in alcohol. You can do it. People do it all the
Yes.
time. I just didn't have to, so I can't speak to how you do that.
Hmm.
So, but I did. I leaned, and a lot of people go to a meeting. AA has tons of meetings, especially in the holidays, because there's so everybody feels like you do if you don't know how to get through the holidays as an alcoholic. They have potlucks and they're fun people, drink people drinking alcohol. It's pretty fun. They're pretty
Of
good people.
course. Of course.
Yeah.
Big personalities.
Yeah. So there's a lot of fun to be had in those situations and connecting with other people that are just doing the best they can to get through the day without falling back on their normal crutch that they've always used.
Sure. So if there's a lot of people that don't know how to be around someone that is recovering from alcohol. I'm sure there are people that shy away, don't want to talk about it, don't want to speak about it, afraid if they say something or if they have a drink in front of you that it's going to cause a problem. What is the best advice for people around an alcoholic? What do you want to hear from us? What do you want people to say to you? How do you want to be treated?
I don't know how others might feel, but I personally, um, I'm I don't want to hide it. I don't want to be like, "Psst, don't take a drink in front of Kim. She might
Right.
might trigger her." I don't want people to be like that. I would like for people to say, "Hey, I'm proud of you. Good job. You want another club soda? You want to go do something else?" Acknowledge it
Hmm.
without over acknowledging it. Don't. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, I'm so proud of you. You're so. You're just like,
Too much.
thank you. Thank you. Be proud. Just if you have somebody in your life that is an alcoholic, just love them and pray for them. That's
Hmm.
all. Love them and pray for them. But God did also set boundaries. You need to be discerning on how you speak to them. Speak to them with love and compassion, but hold yourself with dignity and grace because God never meant for you to be a doormat. That is not his intention for you. And you do not let anybody treat you like that. If they do, you walk away and God will take care of it for you. But doormats was never his intention for you to live. So,
No, not at all.
but to give other people, when people would say, hey, people are, hey, I'm so proud of you. You've done, you came this long, and I appreciate it. And it's kind of a funny feeling because you, I'm thankful for it, but I'm not
Yes.
proud of myself because I didn't do it, you know? I mean, I did. I
You
chose. I
did.
chose.
You
I
chose to
chose.
do it.
But, it's just and then you get to deal with all the real stuff underneath the alcoholism. So put your seatbelt on, sister. Yeah. And then
Absolutely.
if you can get through the alcohol part of it, then everything else is just kind of okay, we can do this. All right, we got this. If we got through that, he's going to help me get through this. And I mean, I'm still fearful. I'm far from perfect, but I sure have a lot more tools now. And I'm so much happier and I'm so much healthier and I'm
Hmm.
I don't really care what other people think about me much anymore, which is really freeing. That comes with
That comes,
age too.
it does. It comes with
Yeah,
growth and
yeah,
age.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, it's not like I'm embarrassed that I quit drinking. I'm proud of it. So I don't
Of
walk around
course.
telling everybody I don't drink,
Right.
but if they're curious, they'll ask. I also would suggest if you are sober, don't push your sobriety on other people. Hey, you need to get sober.
Mm,
You wait for them to come to you. If they come to
right.
you and say, hey, I would like for you to help me, or can you give me some advice? And then you give it, but don't, you know,
So, in
it's not for
saying
them.
that, has there been other people you've helped walk through this journey?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been so rewarding. Yeah. Yes. Wonderful. And they're doing wonderful. One of them, she has been sober, I think, for 3 years now. And she's
Hmm.
just rolling with it with her grandbabies and living life. And I have another friend. I'm not quite sure how she is now. I pray that she's okay. I have a lot of people in my life that are normies. They drink normal. That's what alcoholics call it, normal people.
Normies.
Yeah. And
Okay.
they drink in front of me
Me
all the time
too.
and it didn't bother me at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's, it's just a whole new life and it's so worth the difficulty. I've heard a couple of really great sayings. One was, I believe it was Joyce Meyer, and she said, you can either be uncomfortable and not change or be uncomfortable in change. But either way, you're going to be uncomfortable. So
Absolutely.
choose your uncomfortable. Another one is, what's the next right thing? What's the next best thing?
Hmm.
What's the next right thing that I can do, like, after I get off this with you? Because I'll have to be like, I'd rather go eat a chocolate chip cookie, or, just
Yeah.
silly things. But what's the next right thing? Just little tiny things. Be thankful for the little tiny things. Sometimes I feel like I don't want to be thankful for nothing, but I will be thankful for the color of my fingernail polish, or my coffee, or my just my green plants that I love, obviously.
Yeah. Daily
Just the little
thankfulness and
things.
gratefulness.
Well
Yeah.
well, it's like thankfulness and gratefulness is like making a deposit into your day.
Right.
You're depositing money to be successful in your day. That's a good way for me to think of it anyway. So, and then when I start getting crabby and grappy, I'm like, oh, well, the quicker you just get quicker and quicker at catching it. You're not going to not ever do it because we're human. But the quicker you get at catching it and reeling it in and going, okay, we got this.
That's it.
Something.
That's great. So earlier you were talking about a lot of the oils and things that you've
Yep.
gotten into and the more natural facial products. Tell us a little bit about that and then how we can contact you if people are interested.
Okay, great. Yes, I am. I'm a representative for Young Living. Young Living is a brand of very, very good oils, natural oils. But they all don't only have oils; they have supplements and all kinds of things. Right now, is what I really am focused on is facials that include a lymphatic drainage, because there's so much stuff, as I'd said, in your body, toxins. No matter who you are, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, that is in your system. So the Wellness Hub in Bernie, Texas.
Hmm.
Elise McClure is the owner of that. And Elise is a friend of yours. She's wonderful
Yes,
and so knowledgeable. Dr.
Dr. E
Elise.
was. Hmm.
Dr. E is wonderful. And she has graciously opened up her wellness hub here in Bernie and let me set up a room to go ahead and go through with facials and with lymphatic drainage. But also, there's so many different things that you can help your body recover. I wish I would have had these things when I was in
Mm.
first recovery. It would have, I bet my body would have recovered so much better if I would have had the natural cleanses and the oils and the different things that can help cleanse your liver, help support your pancreas, help get your gut, healthy again, because it's pretty torn up from a lot of alcohol.
Hmm.
And so that is how you can reach me, is through the Wellness Hub. My name is Kimberly Seckler, and the Wellness Hub, you can also call me. If you would like to call me directly, you can do that. 512-289-6, again, in Bernie, Texas. My email is kbks1101 gmail.com. It's 1101 because 1101 was my first sobriety date out of rehab, by the way. So that is how they can contact me if they're interested in just talking, or, interested in getting some help to help their body. Help God help you. And he
Exactly.
made them all anyway. He made all of these things for that. He was
Absolutely.
the first physician. So,
Well, Kimberly, I am so excited that you were vulnerable and open today. And I can guarantee you the things that you have said today has definitely helped other people.
I hope so. So that's my only goal.
Bobby pin takeaway points today is that recovery is not weakness. It's actually the strongest decision that you can make. And sharing your story help someone else feel less alone. And then sobriety is more than just not drinking, it's discovering who you are without numbing yourself. So, everyone, thank you for listening today to Ponytails and Pep Talks with Regina. If you would like and subscribe, I would be very much appreciated, because I would like to get more content out like this and help other people along the way. Have a great day.